triggering change, one heartbeat at a time. Battle for freedom. Hello, everyone. This is Watson Prunier from Battle for Freedom on Mojo Fiber Radio. Glad that you're joining me as we start this day, and we start this Friday off the correct way. We made it to the end of the week, folks. We've had so much going on this week. Probably the craziest of them all has been election, and it seems like it just keeps getting better. But sometimes one of the things that I realize that we go through and we experience is that we are in the midst of a lot of drama, and some of the stuff is self-imposed. That's the reason why I have Battle for Freedom, folks, and understand this. I'm trying to share with you, as many of you as possible, the reason why we want to back away from a lot of this stuff. And let me actually back away some of the lumens on this so that you can actually see me and I'm not whitewashed. Nothing wrong. Listen, my website, Battle4Freedom.com. From there, I want you to do me a favor and go out and share this with as many people as you possibly can. Share my website, and listen, folks, we have some major drama on the way. Red line, red face, avoid self-imposed hell, or avoiding self-imposed hell, if I were to better place it that way. Again, this is going to be very interesting. We are less than a month away from the election. And I'm going to let you know that there's a few steps that we can take to avoid some of the drama that's in there. One of our sponsors, can't forget our sponsors, and of course, one of my favorite is American Pride Roasters Coffee. Take a listen to this one, my favorite flavor of American Pride Roasters Coffee. That's it. I've hit the snooze button a dozen times, and now I have to finally get going. But I'm not going to do this day right if I don't start it off with a cup of American Pride Roasters coffee, the official coffee of Mojo Fiber Radio. But I'm not going to lie to you. They have a wide variety of blends, but I'm leaning towards the one that's named after me, Watson's White Chocolate Caramel. You know what? It sounds as good as those words that just rolled off of my mouth. Listen, get it today, AmericanPrideRoasters.com. Tell them that Watson from Battle for Freedom sent you, and you want Watson's White Chocolate Caramel blend to start your day off. Join American Pride Roasters Coffee and Mojo Fiber Radio, and most important, Battle for Freedom, as we celebrate the best coffee in the nation, American Pride Roasters. Yes, the best coffee in the nation. And again, I'm not saying it because they have a blend named after me. I just love American Pride Roasters Coffee. Actually, I bought some K-Cups so that I can put my Watson's White Chocolate Caramel coffee into my Keurig so I can enjoy that and have fun. Many people are deciding that they want to, Mike, who do you think should be? Many people decided that they wanted to interact and come on to Mojo Fiber Radio. If you go to facebook.com/Mojo Fiber Radio, you have a chance to interact. Mike, Curtis, thank you for joining and being part of this as you share. And I'm sure the group who are in a meeting in the chat room, thank you very much. Hope you guys are all awakened and ready to rock and roll for this crazy week. So listen, as we sit here talking about this red line, red face, understand this. When I say red line, red face, I'm using the red line, the quote from Obama, where he was talking about how he's going to set this red line and no one's going to cross it and he's going to set people straight. That's the first part of the red line I want you to know that I'm referring to. And the other aspect is the red line that is, and the red face is the whole idea of being angry. The whole idea of being angry, a red line, red face. All of us are ready to go to war right now. Everybody, every last one of us is ready to go to war, and we get so mad because of the fact that we're just disgusted with the fact that people want to vote for the characters. Who are they going to vote for? One of the things right now that you have to understand is, and again, avoiding self-imposed hell. To avoid self-imposed hell, and the reason why I say this is because of the fact that we are creating this contention in our lives. You know what? Understand this. People know who you're going to vote for. They can look at your profile. They can look at so much. And as much as I don't like the censoring of As much as I don't like the censoring of Facebook, especially on conservatives, there would be a way that I would love that if there was a way that they could run an algorithm on Facebook that it never let you show who it is that you're voting for, that it would never let you express who your political party is. I'm thinking that if we were able to remove that capability, and I'm saying on both aisles, on both sides of the aisle, that you prevent people from expressing who it is that they're voting for, who is their political party. If there was a way to just completely strip that out, it would be interesting. The only problem, though, is the contention wouldn't go away. The contention would, because we would find something else to complain about. We would find something else to turn around and argue with people, because we are contentious people. We love to argue. We love to debate. We love conflict. If we're not enjoying Russell Crowe in Gladiator, if we're not enjoying Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali or Rocky Balboa in the boxing ring, if we're not enjoying the gladiators as on the gridiron as football is underway, and sweat and tear and crunch and tackle and touchdowns, we sometimes feel like life is boring. Like there has to be more to life. And I'm letting you know that God is trying to tell us, folks, slow your roll. A lot of the anger and frustration and tension that's with us is because of the fact that it's self-imposed. Okay, you don't believe me? And thank you, Jen and Curtis and Lisa, for joining. Okay, with the raise of hands, how many of you knew that? And again, this is for people, not just for conservatives. This is for liberals. How many of you knew on Wednesday's debate and the debate the week prior, that the person you don't like was going to say something that you don't like and it made you angry? How many of you knew that before going into the debate, but you still went to watch the debate? But you still went to watch knowing it was going to frustrate you, knowing that it was going to just rile you up and get you angry? Because that was me. That there's so many different things that we can avoid in life. Do you realize when Colin Kaepernick in 2016 started his faux rage, and because he was losing his career was over, one of the things, it was the most freeing moment for me ever, because I don't care about the NFL. I have gained back. You do the math. So it's I think it's upwards of 30 hours a week. Well, it could be 20, 30 hours a week in NFL. Time wasted away watching all of that. Multiply that times the season, times 5. And then you recognize how much time, how much life I have recuperated ever since Colin Kaepernick's faux rage. And even now, he's back out on the scene asking to defund or demand that we defund the police and everything like that. The people who are seeking for attention, and we know what they say, we know what they stand for, and some of them, it's just best to avoid them. There are people who don't like me, and that's okay. It's all right. You know what? If there are people who hate me, which I'm sure that there are, if there are people who despise me, who want to call me an Uncle Tom, who want to call me a sellout, and every other different name under the sun, that's okay. That's fine. It's their freedom of speech. My life is not affected negatively on it. And even if it were affected negatively, I'm cool with that. Why? Because it's going to be a growing experience for me. And in yesterday's broadcast, where I talk about the idea of meekness, meek inheritances, I'm the one who ends up winning if all their energy is spent out on trying to destroy me. I'm the one who wins. Why? Because of the fact that I'm the one with a settled peace, and I'm not stressed out about how successful other people are going to be. See, we turn around, we put everything that we can. We put our whole life out there. We put all of our emotions out there. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yes, one of the blessings that God has given me that many people aren't afforded. I'm a husband. I have a lot of friends who are singles, struggling to try and find someone and have a relationship with them. And it's unfortunate that we can't have as many righteous people as we have in this country. It's so difficult for people to find people of substance and character to be in a relationship with, a long-lasting relationship. And not only that, but I'm also a father. I have 4 children. And my girls are, of course, they're under 18 and they're living with us. And I'm not going to lie to you, it is a very humbling experience when my 3 girls just come in to say hi to daddy. They come in for a hug. My youngest, all I have to do is walk in the room and her face is beaming with joy because she knows I'm going to do something silly. She knows I'm going to do something goofy. I mean, and she will sit there when I'm trying to get work done, when I'm working from home, and she'll just latch herself onto my leg like a lemur. Not a lemur, but not a lemur. What's the other one? A sloth. And she doesn't want to let go. And it's because she doesn't want me to leave. They all have their unique ways of basically saying, I am so happy that you're my daddy. And it's a humbling experience. And if I allow the anger, if I allow the frustration, and needless, and don't forget, I'm not going to even mention the fact that my wife comes on the line or she comes into my chats as I'm broadcasting, or she shares feedback, or she interacts, or all the other different things that you never get a chance to see her doing. You never get a chance to see her doing because I try to do the best that I can to keep my family off of the radar of the sycophants who would rather do them harm. There's so much in life that we lose sight of in the midst of the drama. There's so much that we lose sight of in the midst of wanting to be right over the person who does not share our political persuasion. And it's unfortunate because the fact that it's setting us up for the worst mentality in how we function and treat one another. And we fail. Talking about a mentality, listen to New Life Holistic for a second here. Does your mind seem like it often shuts down before it even starts? Sounds like you need to detox to improve your health in body, mind, and spirit. I'd like to tell you about New Life Holistic. It is an amazing therapy process that uses neurofeedback and biofeedback for many issues that ails everyone. New Life's method and approach to health, balance, energy, and vitality is what sets it apart from anything you have experienced ever before. Call 1-833-4-BIO-LIFE and tell them Watson from Battle4Freedom has sent you. One more thing. Give them the code MOJO50 and save $50 off of your first session. The consult is free. New Life Holistic. Yes, New Life Holistic. Thank you, Curtis. He calls her a clinger. Yes, he's a clinger, and he spells it with a K. I love that. You see how me just sharing something so simple with you about just the small things in life that we appreciate will not allow us to get all worked up. Oh, because trust me, before the broadcast, before going to sleep, I was worked up. I was just worked up with half the stuff that I want to talk to you about. Trust me, I'm not sitting here ignoring the things. I mean, because one of the things that's out there right now, Nancy Pelosi announced that she's launching a commission on Donald Trump's capacity for office in a move towards using the 25th Amendment to remove him as he goes on Twitter rant calling her crazy and accusing her of a coup. How is him talking about the reality of what's taking place? We have the FBI information. We have the CIA information. We have the data that shows to you that the Obama administration was actively spying against a sitting president. But no one wants an orange man bad. And you know what? And here's the thing about it, folks. Why are we so frustrated when these people choose to ignore the truth that's out there? We can't beat the truth into them. And I'm letting you know it's going to be red line. I'm drawing the line right here. If you keep saying these stupid things, I'm going to cut you off for life. And it's like, why? Why even go there? Don't even draw the line. Just walk away. Seriously. When you sit here, understand this. Life is too busy, and I think we get so enamored with the battle, with the struggle, with the drama, that we never realize that how much poison we're bringing into our lives, and we're entertaining relationships and associations to our detriment rather than to our health. We have to get to the point where life could be worth celebrating and not about complaining. And when we create all these different red lines and we create all this anger and stress in our lives, then yes, this is annoying that this is another attempt to unseat a duly elected president. It is annoying. But this is what she's doing. This is what she chooses to do, and it's rather unfortunate. Okay? But all we can do is take care of ourselves, because we know how bad this thing is going to get. We know how badly this is going to turn. Please, stop getting angry. Stop getting worked up. There was another, and it's crazy because of the fact that I have to look at this and I have to constantly challenge myself not to sweat. What is it? What's the phrase? Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. You know exactly what this is like. You know exactly how we allow ourselves to get so frustrated. I had this I'm going to share this. This is a meme that I worked on, and I worked on this meme this morning because of the fact that it was kind of like, you know what? This speaks volumes about what really matters in life, and we should not allow ourselves to be so worked up that we can't enjoy life. So I'm going to share this one with you that I was working on this morning, and this is going to be key because it's going to be truthful for you. Less than a month away from a highly controversial election. Want to be less stressed out? Delight in the fact that God is still in control and he has the final word. Don't tell people who won your vote, and don't attack others for their vote. This is so key because of the fact, again, people know where you stand. People know what position you're going to be in. And you know that there are already going to be a group of people who are going to come out and attack you because of your position. Whether you're on the right, whether you're on the left, it doesn't matter. Why even paint yourself as a target? I mean, people are like, hey, guess what? You know what? I'm proudly voting for, I saw on the timeline this morning, this person like, I'm going to vote against every Republican I know and proudly do it. I'm like, enjoy your vote. Fine. But why do you have to go out of your way to say, I'm going to vote against every Republican that I know and proudly do it? And we do it on the right side too. I'm celebrating not voting for Trump. You know what? Again, in our narcissism, we like to paint targets on us. And you have to ask yourself, when I say delight in the fact that God is still in control and he has the final word, again, by putting all the attention on us, does God get the glory or do we get the glory? Oh, Watson, well, you're impeding on my freedom of speech. No, I'm not telling you that you can't say stuff. I'm just saying choose your battles. I mean, don't complain about your life being frustrated and you impose the hell on yourself because of the fact that you wanted to be contentious. Well, this is my freedom of speech. Yes, do whatever you want, but understand this. You're not free from the consequences of those decisions that you make. Yes, Facebook is shadow banning. Yes, Facebook is censoring. Yes, Facebook is completely immoral in what they're doing. But okay, let's rewind this back. How many of you are paying to use, say, Facebook? How many of you are paying for the services for them to store your videos and your pictures? How many of you are doing that? How many of you are paying the utility fees to keep the servers online so Facebook could keep going on? How many of you are paying the yearly hosting services for it? How many of you are paying the yearly bills for the Facebook renewals of Facebook.com? Because the fact that, again, this Facebook, social media are all voluntary services. Well, I need to communicate. You still have a phone. You still have a computer where you can send an email. I mean, because if the person is communicating and you can communicate with someone via Facebook or through social media, you can communicate with someone with a letter. You remember that really cool thing a long time ago when people had a piece of paper and a pen and they turned around and they actually wrote things to people? You know how less stressed and more focused we could be in turning around and deciding to actually spend time, disconnect from the computer, write down a letter and say, hey, how are you doing? Hey, if you need to use your computer, you need to open up Word, Microsoft Word or WordPad or even Notepad to write the letter. Do it on your computer. Turn off social media and start interacting with people in a whole nother level. Because remember, society was doing a whole lot better before society had social media and the internet. Despite the advances of the connectivity around the world, we were less uncivilized in our manners and our dealings. Well, not so much so that we were less civilized. We just had less avenues to promote and show off our depravity. I know y'all don't want to hear this. It's just, I just have to share it. Again, I'm blessed that God has allowed me to have these. I look at the face of my children, and sometimes my oldest is empathetic. And I think she could sense the stress on me when I allow myself to get worked up because of politics, when I allow myself to get worked up because of the crazy things that's going on. Here's the reason why red line, red face is really bad. So I'm sure many of you are aware of the disaster that is unfolded because some people decided that they're going to go on this. The timing of this seems a little bit too convenient for me. Someone properly said it feels like a Jussie Smollett thing here, but I guess it's important that we need to cover this before we go to break. Here you go.
Good afternoon. Earlier today, Attorney General Dana Nessel was joined by officials from the Department of Justice and the FBI to announce state and federal charges against 13 members of 2 militia groups who were preparing to kidnap and possibly kill me. When I put my hand on the Bible and took the oath of office 22 months ago, I knew this job would be hard. But I'll be honest, I never could have imagined anything like this. I want to start by saying thank you to our law enforcement. Thank you to the fearless FBI agents. And thank you to the brave Michigan State police troopers who participated in this operation, acting under the leadership of Colonel Joe Gasper. I also want to thank Attorney General Nessel and the U.S. Attorneys Burge and Schneider and their teams for pursuing criminal charges that hopefully will lead to convictions, bringing these sick and depraved men to justice. As a mom with 2 teenage daughters and 3 stepsons, my husband and I are eternally grateful to everyone who put themselves in harm's way to keep our family safe. 2020 has been a hard year for all of us. Hard for our doctors and nurses and truck drivers, grocery store.
Okay, I'm done. And here is the reason why I'm going to say this. If you were dumb enough to actually turn around and, okay, let's talk about the red line, red face on one side, but then I want to say something about this on when we come back from the break because of the fact that this is all too convenient. But here's what I want to say before we go to break. If you're dumb enough to turn around and orchestrate this, if this actually is legit and this was from a right-wing conspiracy thing, you are idiots if you thought that this was actually a good move. And now you're in a self-imposed hell called jail. I'm your host, Battle4Freedom from Battle4Freedom. I'll talk to you people on the flip side. This election will be vital to the health and sustainability of our country. Our role from this day on could steer the election in either direction. Why? The way we treat one another. In John 13:35, Jesus says, "By this all people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." We know that every election cycle brings out the worst in us. If there was ever a point for honesty, it is in how we act during election season. As much as we would want our candidate to win, attacking a person with contrary opinions only makes them determined to reject our point of view all the more. It may come off as ignorant from them, but we cannot claim innocence if we allow arrogance and disrespect to be the means in which we communicate with those who support the other party or other candidates. Our goal was and will never be to convert voters. Our role is to give them the information needed prior to them casting their vote. It is their choice and right of what they do with that information. Understand, more people are aware of the political corruption and hypocrisy than they wish or want to admit. So there's nothing for us to prove. Choose to be people who invoke change rather than people who irritate and strain. Dale Carnegie once wrote, "A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still." In other words, give people the room to make their own mistakes. Without seeing that they were wrong, they would be blind to see what is right. Remember, every soldier present and gone have fought for the right of every American citizen to vote their own conscience. To insult and ridicule people for exercising their liberty to vote for their candidate is to also desecrate the efforts, memories, and sacrifices made by our heroes for said liberty. Please, show respect. Our nation depends on it. Welcome back, everyone. This is Watson Prunier from Battle4Freedom on Mojo 5 Radio. I am so glad that you listen. Okay, many of you, thank you for interacting. I see so many more people in here. I see Belinda. I see Carol. I see Carol. I see Linda. I see so many people who are in here interacting. Thank you for the comments. Those of you who don't recognize, I'm part of Mojo 5 Radio, and it's an amazing network, Mojo50.com. I want you to go there, and I want you to do this thing. Click the schedule button so you can see all the different talent that's on this network. But I also want you to do me a favor, and I want you to go to Mojo50.com and do /open mic. We have great people out there. You have to understand, it's a wide variety of personalities. It's a wide variety of insanity and hilarity that you can enjoy on this network. It's a free speech network, and everyone's afforded their opportunity to say. Listen, last night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I was on Dominic Izzo's program, who comes on Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. And we were talking about the Bible and the book of John and so many different things. Right immediately after Battle4Freedom in the morning is you hear Watson. you have Brad Staggs and Daily Mojo, but the open mic thing is an opportunity for you to hear potential shows that can come on and onto the network, but just other opinions that's out there. And I know y'all, I sometimes stress you out way too much before you start the day off. So I need to bring one of these things that I've saved as a result of humor on this network as well, too. This is from one of our leaders in Mojo 5 Radio. Take a listen to this.
You saw a meme yesterday, what?
No, I saw a meme yesterday with somebody holding a slice of pizza to their ear that said, if you hold a slice of Chicago pizza near your ear,
What?
you can hear the faint sound of gunshots.
You know what?
Yes, I'm sorry. I've been waiting to do that one all week. Because sometimes you just need the break away from all the stress, all the craziness. 2 p.m. today, you have Mike Phillip. Basically, I call him, it's like Jukebox Mojo, where you get a chance to hear, he's from American Rock Radio out of Canada, and you get a chance to do this. We have at 11 a.m. in the morning, you have, oh my goodness, Gwen Rich, and just talking about the health. I mean, how you take care of your body. I mean, this is key. This is important. I mean, there's so many other different voices that you can hear. Jim Dawes, Defenders Live, and so many more. Weekends, we have Off Track Whiskey 6, we have the Mighty Oaks, we have Pat Oney, we have Andrew Coppins, who comes on Monday through Friday. We have Defending 2A with Jason Gouffre. And I know I'm missing so much more. That's the reason why you have to go to mojo5050.com and click the schedule button. There's just the better way. You need that segment to get away and laugh when it's just too stressful. When you've made too many red lines, and you're too red-faced to see anything different. It's just a healthy outreach. But most important for me, I'm just going to tell you, just praying to having a conversation with God about how silly and crazy we are. That will be more than enough. Let's get back to the whole convenience of the Whitmer thing. I want to thank the FBI. I want to thank all these different individuals who are saying, because she was going to be killed, too much like a Jesse Smollett thing, too much like whatever his name was, a Bubba Wallace thing. Wallace? Yes, Bubba Wallace thing. And this is your October surprise Jesse Smollett thing. Because here's the reason. When you look at the language that came in after her, who basically just starts praising the police. Remember, what has been the one thing that Democrats have been refusing to do for the longest time? It's praise and thank the police. And now look at all the first responders and look at her language. It's so appreciative of the people that have made a difference in our lives. These are talking points. The timing is too convenient, folks, because now guess what? Guess who Governor Whitmer is now? She's a victim. She is a victim. You do realize that now that people have seen her, oh, we need to get behind her. Oh, this is horrific. Oh, and you think that the way you've been throwing the police under the bus, the way you've been throwing Americans under the bus, that somehow, some way that they're going to start changing their disposition because you just faked a kidnapping attempt? Some days and stuff, you just can't write the stuff better. You can't write the stuff better. The theater, see, and that's the problem. It's the theater. If Governor, understand this. Here's the reason why I have to call Bravo Sierra, just like Jen Leah Butler said, is because of the fact that the convenience and the timing. If there were no internet, if there were no way to transmit this information at light speed around the country and around the world with one click, and that it was a Pony Express of delivering the mail, there is no way that she could garner the sympathy within 30 days. There is no way that the news could actually turn around and just move around all over the country and people start garnering support. Guess what? I bet you that GoFundMe account for Governor Whitmer is going to be growing pretty quickly. And hey, if you get a chance, donate to democracy and keeping us away from the utter racism and right-wing militia militant nonsense and Nazism that's affecting our country. Paid by the Democrat Party. So as you sit here watching this thing, Mitchell says this, and it's great. Conservatives need to be careful because even though they make and carry out threats, they will only point out when we do as they do. Correct. See, that's the thing about it. Oh my goodness, I got to get this clip because if I'm going to do this the right way, I don't have everything ready. It sucks. You have to go to one of the most iconic moments in history with Star Wars. I need to show you one of those great scenes that many of you, because I want to focus on what Mitchell Dupree said. What he said here is that they will only show when we do wrong. And I'm going to show you probably, again, I'm sorry, I apologize. It's one of the basic key moments in life that you can't miss. And it's from General Akbar, I think, is that his name, from Star Wars. How many of you remember this moment where they're thinking that they're going to defeat the Empire, and all of a sudden he recognizes something most interesting, and that is the fact that no matter how much they try and do this, it's a trap. It's a trap. How many of you are familiar with this scene here? Let's just replay it one more time. Remember Akbar? I think that was his name. It's a trap. Admiral Akbar, the sacrifice. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. They are doing everything that they can to catch us in a trap. Do you realize that sometimes, even when you post things, even when you get and you do things on social media, people are turning around and they're trying to trap you in your emotions? Jeremiah 17:9, the heart's deceitfully wicked beyond all measure, who can know it? See, because our hearts lead us astray, because our hearts will make us do things that we have no common sense doing, we walk into daily traps and everything goes awry. I mean, think about this. Something Linda was saying. What a way to start my day. Wrong one. Yes, thank you, Linda, for that. It was Jen. Got to go back to Jen. Oh, just like the Charlottesville, we don't even wait for the facts before we start pointing fingers. Thank you. I mean, literally, someone got killed. Tragedy. Tragedy that someone got killed. But no one wants to deal with the fact that the violence that we see that's happening around the country, the sticks, the rioting, the attacks, and everything that's been going on has been was taking place in Charlottesville. The driver, they show you that the driver is fleeing people with sticks and bats. They don't want to talk to you about. They want to talk. What do they keep talking about? What was happening in Charlottesville? Oh, yes, the people with the KKK and the Nazis and the candles and all this stuff, working people up on the emotions on one small segment of reality that was happening back there. But even that they twisted, because what were they doing? Even the people who were the white supremacists, they had candles and they lit candles quietly, protesting. They weren't burning things down. They weren't smashing windows. They weren't beating up people. They had candles. That simple fact that I felt so afraid. No. The guy driving the car, getting away from the people who were chasing him down the road. Oh, you don't believe me? What about the white Prius? The person had gone through the crowd, and the person chased them down in a truck, and they got out and started beating them in their own vehicle. And you think that this is just happening now? You know what? And this is the reason why many people just draw a red line, and they don't even have all the facts. I have had friends I just don't talk to anymore because they drew a red line on Donald Trump, and they drew a red line on Donald Trump being a racist because of his position with the Central Park Five. Because Donald Trump chose that he didn't want to believe in the innocence of 5 individuals who just happened to be minorities. But because that 5 minorities that Donald Trump refused to believe in, that means that he hates all minorities. There is no basis for this. But when you draw the red line in your heart that someone is a racist, that someone is evil, that someone is guilty without having all the facts, I don't care how intelligent you are. I don't care how successful you may be financially. I don't care what ranks you even climb, even in Christendom. The idea that you will hold someone guilty without all the facts, bringing your presuppositions about who an individual is, makes you more guilty than the person that you're accusing. It makes you a devil, because the devil turns around and makes false accusations, daily making accusations against people. Oh, well, he didn't want to rent to black people. Let's get the context of what's going on. Because given the opportunity, if you were given the opportunity to actually rent to the low rent Section 8 people, like they wanted to bring in that business at that time, you wouldn't even allow that to happen. But Donald Trump doing it, he's racist. What he said about the judge, what he said about the people in Charlottesville, they're fine people. Again, it's been proven and proven and proven, but everyone keeps reiterating the lie, and it keeps feeding and I'm going to go with Rush Limbaugh's thing, the less informed. You're less informed because of the fact that your mind is not opened to hearing the truth because of the self-imposed hell that you put in your life. You put in your mind, you put in your spirit. Know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. But there are people who actually, the gate's open. The door's unlocked. The key's in the door. And all they have to do is push it. Actually, some of the doors are wide open. And there's even a moving sidewalk that they could just, even if they don't want to walk to the gate and out of their bondage, they won't even roll over onto the moving sidewalk to get out of their bondage. Because being a victim, being angry, being frustrated, thank you, low information voter, thank you, Brian. They would rather be in a lowly state and in a bondage state, in a victim state, because in that way, they can always be pleading that life is unfair. When you get to the point in your life, yes, we can geek out a little bit on Friday, Jen, because you have to. In the insanity of everything going on here, you have to get to the point where you realize that you no longer want to be held in bondage to the craziness. But when you are so satisfied in being angry and being frustrated, that's going to be the height of your day, that's a self-imposed hell. That really is your red line is, I don't want to cross this line. I don't want to actually hear what the other side. I don't want to hear the truth, and I don't want to be free. Because if I can sit here and wallow in my misery, if I could sit here and wallow in my frustrations, if I could sit here and just be angry at Donald Trump, I could be constipated, and I could. Something we talked about last night on Izzo's program, a young lady named Elise on the program on here, and she brought up a really interesting thing. She said, do you ever recognize that the people who are so angry, so frustrated, so uptight all the time, they age really quickly? She had a funny statement when she said, "Black don't crack." It's pretty hilarious, folks. Your life could be more free if you actually set some things away and let it not be a part of what you do. I have to make those decisions. I have to make those decisions to maintain my sanity. Right after this program, I have to head into work because I have a lot of reports done. I have a lot of expectations that need to be met within this month. The mic goes off and my feet get running to get into work to do everything I can. And I'm thankful to God for the job that I have in the midst of everything going on. There are bigger fish to fry, people. There are bigger fish to fry. Let me get into a couple more of these things that were on here. Yeah. Sad. Ruby Tuesday. Ruby Tuesday's closing. Goodbye. Favorite restaurant chain is closing, filing for bankruptcy and closing 185 locations. My wife and I had some really good times there. Yeah, Ruby Tuesdays. Here's one that I thought was really interesting. Empty again, because this is beyond all the craziness and all the insanity. Let's look at the reality of what's happening in people's lives. Empty New York City apartments have tripled to 16,000 in September, and the median rents have dropped by 11% as landlords try to entice new tenants with huge discounts. You know, you have to understand the median net effective rent has now fallen to 11% to about $3,000, which is the lowest since July 2013. That's still too expensive. That is still too expensive of what I would want to pay. But you know what? When people are deciding to be destructive, look what you cost. Look what you cost, because it's not only you getting your point across. Businesses are closing, people are losing their jobs, industries, real estate, where they've provided homes for people, are dying. Restaurant chains are closing. Movie theaters, Regal had their last showing last night. I wish I would have been able to get out there and go watch a movie at Regal just one more time, because I think that experience is going to be gone. I think Brad and I were talking about it yesterday. You know, there's a woman who wrote an article, this is on Daily Mail, and she said the woke culture is setting back progress by assuming all minorities are victims. The author warns who are they deliberately wrote inane articles that were unwittingly praised by academics. Helen Pluckrose was part of a team who successfully submitted a parody of articles. She has now told a podcast about her fears for society due to woke campaigning, and she predicted it would cause a backlash, which will then hurt minority groups. Yeah, the woke crowd that's burning down cities, burning communities, destroying personal property, destroying life dreams, life work, destroyed because of wokeness. The red line has been drawn. People have just gladly decided to wage war. They're angry and they're just in Hulk smash mode. And it doesn't matter. Remember, as you sit here carrying on in this craziness, you have destroyed lives. And any suicides that take place as a result of any suicides that takes place because of the failures of the economy and failures of health, because of the failure of Democrat leadership, that's on you. And if you sponsored the chaos, God will hold you accountable for those actions. It was an interesting one. Jackie Robinson's daughter demands that Trump campaign cut her father's image from an ad because the president stands in opposition to all the civil rights heroes stood for. She says, Sharon Robinson tweeted, the Trump campaign is in opposition to all that my father stood for. We're insulted and demand that his image be removed. Robinson's image appears 15 seconds into the ad. As the narrator says, impossible. We treat that word as motivation. If it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. You know, it's very interesting as you sit here and you watch this, because she's basically in her red line assuming that she's bought the lie. She's bought the lie that Donald Trump is a racist. She's bought the lie that Donald Trump is a sexist. And here's my thing, because if in your article you're not condemning Joe Biden, if you're not condemning Kamala Harris, if you're not condemning Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, Chuck Schumer, and half, not even half, the majority, the squad, and every other person who's bringing chaos in this country, you're a hypocrite. You are a hypocrite. And you don't even understand what your father stood for. You don't understand what your father stood for. Because if you listen to the president wants peaceful protests, not rioting, not destruction of property. But unfortunately, when you are on the Kool-Aid of poison and liberal progressive hatred, you believe anything. I'm going to skip that one because that's not worth it. Here's the craziness. When in the midst of us being blinded by our rage, we fail to listen and pay attention to the people that who matter most that we should take care of. There's this let's see, do I have this on here? This was really scary as I was watching this. And this took place in Rhode Island. Yes, so I don't know if many of you who saw this, but this was crazy. This video footage just shows that this little girl was coming back from school. And this 9-year-old girl was kidnapped, Rhode Island. She was coming back from the bus, and unfortunately, in a kidnap, she was sexually assaulted. Luis Martinez Romero, 34, snatched a girl on Monday in Providence, Rhode Island. He took youngster to Burger King after allegedly sexually assaulting her, and police managed to track the 34-year-old man using down an order receipt. You know, when you get so blind and raged that you just want to attack and you want to smash and you want to destroy, you know what you're doing? You're leaving yourself exposed. You know, when you sit there and you engage in fight and you engage in battle, one of the things that they try and help you understand is your attacks must be quick and you must protect yourself even in the midst of it. Because when you attack, when you go for that swing, when I go in for a punch, again, that was just a wide, wild swing, not the one I would actually do, I leave my rib cage completely exposed. In the midst of the burning, in the midst of the destruction, in the midst of all the red lining and red facing and all the self-imposed hell by the destruction by the people who are destroying our country, they've left their homes abandoned. The people who are protesting out in the middle of the night, going through communities, ruining people's lives, destroying businesses, they've left their homes exposed. They left their businesses exposed. They've left their innocent ones exposed. And you sit here and you watch this. Is that God, even in those moments, trying to basically tell you, slow down, take a chill pill, be still, know that I'm God. I've got this under control. And many of us, when we sit here and we do this and we post certain things, certain inflammatory things, and with the intention of inflaming individuals, we wind up creating exposure areas around us that we never really pay attention to or care about. And it's time for us to make better decisions on how we do this, because if you don't, in the end, this is going to hurt you more so than it hurts anyone else. Let's do this the right way. One red line I want to go over that the president's going to do, and it's coming for the next debates. The president decides that he wants no debate if it's going to be virtual, and I agree. I agree with the President of the United States of America because of the fact that right now we've watched the bias in the debate, less bias but still bias in the second debate. The woman who was the moderator of the debate was writing a novel for Nancy Pelosi. Come on here. Come on here. Can we get any debate moderator who has no affiliation to either party? Can we get a libertarian moderator, someone who may like Joe Jorgensen? Do that. Use that moderator instead of using a moderator who's pro-Trump or pro-Biden. Get pro-Democrat or pro-Republican. Just get a moderator who actually will do exactly what they're supposed to do. No bias whatsoever. But impossible. We're too petty. We're too foolish. And it's not going to get any better. Listen, for those of you, I got to go back to how I started this thing off. My attitude of gratitude, and I'm going to do this long-winded on this one here. I'm going to share people's comments because I love what you guys have had to say and share. Why don't we end this day off? I've got 2 minutes left. Right in the timeline, I'll try and see if I can get this in a fast enough period of time. I already share with you my appreciation for my wife and my kids and so much more. If you want to be less stressed out, let me go back to my meme. Less than a month away from the highly controversial election. Want to be less stressed out? Delight in the fact that God is still in control and he has the final word. Don't tell people who won your vote. Don't attack others for their vote. This is key to the level of peace that you want to have in your life. The peace, God says, I will give you peace that surpasses all understanding. And it's rooted in us surrendering all the drama, all the chaos, every concern, every burden at the foot of the cross, and allowing the Lord to guide us and direct us in the midst of the madness. But in no way in any of my words have I ever said that becoming a Christian, but no way have I said, in realizing that we're all sinners in need of salvation and restored by God's gift of Jesus Christ dying on the cross for us, in no way have I ever stated, because it's nothing but a lie. Anyone who tells you that your life is perfect and there's no drama once you become a Christian is lying to you. There will always be drama. And the reason isn't because of the outside forces, it's because of the inside forces. So please make the right direction. This is gonna be contentious as all get out. Brad Staggs and Daily Mojo's up next. If you're listening in the morning, or patriotically correct in the afternoon. And you know what? Go to mojo50.com, mojo50.com, select it, search, click, be happy. Watson! He's out. Talk to you later.